What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Got a standard Grixis aggro list for you guys. And this one, we're kind of taking advantage of cards like Subira, Tulzidi, Caravanner. It's a pretty sweet new card from core set 21. 2 in red, you get a 2/3 legendary human shaman with haste. You can pay 1 to another target creature with power 2 or less, can't be blocked this turn. Or you can pay 1 in red, tap it to discard your hand. And whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's a pretty powerful effect. 2/3 body is pretty reasonable with haste. Not going to complain about that. Giving your creatures unblockable and drawing cards. You have to tap it, which is a little bit can be a little bit awkward sometimes. But we're the aggro deck, so we're not really too worried about leaving our shields down for our opponent to swing back, crack back at us. We're just trying to be the aggressive deck. Grixis, we have some pretty fantastic efficient removal and tempo options, and some nice new removal here in core set 21 that we can kind of use to supplement this with some existing cards. So a great target for Subira is a card like a Thief of Sanity, 2/2 flyer for 3 mana. Of course, when it deals damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of that player's library, exile 1 face down, then rest go into your opponent's graveyard. You can look at and cast that chosen card for as long as you remain exiled, and you can use mana of any type to cast that spell. So just you're basically just drawing cards off top of your opponent's library, and then it just gives you a nice source of card advantage. Obviously, it kind of depends on what you're matched up against, but sometimes it'll be removal, sometimes it'll be more creatures. But either way, you may find something decent and potentially at least throw off your opponent's game plan a little bit. We also have cards like Robber of the Rich, which are just nice, aggressive cards on their own. 2/2 reach haste when it attacks. If your opponent has more cards in hand than you, we get to exile the top card of the library, and then anytime we've attacked with a rogue, we get to cast that card using mana of any type to cast that spell. So another way to kind of get card advantage, and these are both fantastic targets for Subira to make them unblockable. Obviously playing the Robber the Rich, say on turn 2, and you get that free attack sometimes, depending on what your opponent's up to. They might not have a creature out yet, or they don't have a good block. They don't want to block their parachute or something like that. Or you can just swing in with your Robber the Rich. But obviously once you get to turns 4, 5, 6, then your opponent probably has some an Uro or whatever kind of creature down that can easily block this. Well, Subira says, oh, that's nice. I'll just pay 1 mana, make my creature unblockable, and we're still going to get some value. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Let's have some fantastic value options with Kitesail Freebooter is another addition to standard from core set 21, obviously from Ixalan block as well. But it's a 1/2 flyer for 2 mana. So again, it's got that 1 power, which works with Subira. And a flying evasive body, which is pretty sweet on its own. But of course, the real value is looking at your opponent's hand and choosing any non-creature non-land card from it, and exiling that card under the Freebooter until the Freebooter leaves the battlefield. So against a lot of other matchups that are kind of removal heavy, sometimes it doesn't really matter what you take. You just look at their hand and they just have a bunch of sweepers, a bunch of removal, some planeswalkers, and literally nothing matters. But because they're going to kill your freebooter, and then they're just going to get back that whatever they took immediately. But against like other kind of creature-based matchups, this is going to be fantastic because they're trying to balance creatures and removal spells, exactly like what we're trying to do here. But we get their removal spell, and so we slow them down a little bit, and we can kind of keep our creatures alive, make them unblockable with Subira and things like that. So Freebooter is just a fantastic addition here. And of course, if we need to, we can make it unblockable. And my thing with Subira is it's just colorless mana for each of those creatures. So, we can pay 2/3 mana and just make 2/3 creatures unblockable, including, herself. Or actually, no, sorry, another target creature. But yeah, we have the Thief and Robber, Kitesail Freebooter, and we also have, Brazen Borrower. Just running it as a 3 of because we are a 3-color deck, and the double blue can be a little bit tricky sometimes. But just the petty theft side alone makes this pretty reasonable option. And then if you do have the right mana, of course, being able to flash this in once you're set up to have a 3/1 flyer, of course. And it's a rogue, which works with the Robber of the Rich as well. And Knight of the Ebon Legion, of course, it's a 1 power creature. So that works with Subira, even if it has like a single counter on it. Obviously, if you get multiple counters on it, then it's going to get too big for Subira to make it unblockable. But it's if you're keeping your Knight of the Ebon Legion around and you're getting lots of counters on it, then you're probably in a good shape anyway. So it's not really you're not really going to be complaining in those spots. And so for our removal package, we're also running some Unsummons, some Eliminates, and Heartless Acts. So Unsummon is nice because we can kind of protect our own creatures with this because we return any creature to its owner's hand. So it's nice having that flexibility. And sometimes the Heartless Act or the Eliminate don't quite match up with what your opponent's doing, or the Unsummon can kind of fix that and just bounce it back to your opponent's hand. And all we're really trying to do with it, in an aggressive deck is we're just trying to just win the game before our opponent can really do anything about it. So basically, tempoing them, and Unsummon is a fantastic way to do that. But sometimes you just need to kill with their creatures and just deal with it right away. Eliminate, core set, we got some really fantastic options with Eliminate and Soul Sear. These are both pretty amazing, efficient removal spells. Eliminate, of course, is a creature or planeswalker with mana cost 3 or less. Soul Sear deals 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker, and that permanent loses indestructible until end of turn. So that's pretty fantastic against a lot of matchups. And then Heartless Act, of course, the creature can have counters on it, or you can remove 3 counters from that creature. And of course, Lava Coil for some exile removal works pretty efficiently. Light up the stage just for a little bit of kind of card advantage as well. Obviously, the Robber and Thief of Sanity give us card advantage, but light up stage is one other option. So just a couple copies here. And finally, Royal Scions is another way for us to do that. So we are running 24 lands, which is a bit much, especially since our curve tops out at 3. But I think the extra lands are necessary, not so much because you need a critical mass of lands to do like multiple things per turn. Although that is nice, having 4 or 5 mana so you can, play a creature and remove a spell same turn. But mostly it's just because we're running 3 colors, and so just having the number of lands so you have the right amount and types of lands is why we're doing that. But something like Royal Scions can kind of we can just do the +1 to draw and discard. So once we have got the right mana we need, we're all set up there. We got double blue, double red, double black, all going on with our dual lands and everything else. Then any additional lands after that we don't really need, so we can discard them to Subira to draw some cards. We can Royal Scions to draw and discard. But Royal Scions is just fantastic in aggro list because you can also +1 to give a creature +2/+0 for strike and trample until end of turn. So that's pretty sweet. Of course, a little bit of downside with Subira because you have to obviously activate this at sorcery speed, so you can't activate the Royal Scions and then Subira. But otherwise, Royal Scions is still a fantastic option. So lots of ways to get card advantage, to be aggressive, and just have some fun. And so going to the mana base here, we are mostly actually red and black, so we're splashing blue, but we still need to deal blue for things like the Brazen Borrower. So we still have to be very careful with how we're doing our mana. So 2 islands, 1 Castle Locthwain, so in case we're kind of a little bit of a board stall and we need to find that extra removal spell to push through, or creature or something like that. We can get the Castle Locthwain to help us dig for that hasty creature, removal spell, whatever we need. 2 swamps, Castle Embereth to kind of pump up the team, of course. 2 mountains, and then all the shocklands, Watery Grave, Steam Vents, Blood Crypt, and then the 4 Fabled Passage because fixing is just absolutely critical. Unfortunately, we didn't get the Grixis triomes, so we're just going to run Fabled Passage here so we can find whichever land that we're needing a copy of or a second copy of. The sideboard here still seems like Graveyard interaction is paramount, so we're on 2 copies here of Tormod Script just because it's super cheap. 0 mana to cast it, and then you can just don't have to pay mana, you just tap it to sacrifice to exile cards from target player's graveyard. A couple copies here of Miscast for those removal heavy decks. Just single mana to counter target instant or sorcery spell unless the controller pays 3. So obviously we don't want the game to go long, so we want to be able to cast this before our opponent has additional mana to pay that 3 mana to make this not a viable counter spell. But super efficient for what it is. So 3 copies here of Agonizing Remorse, another way to kind of get those sweepers and removal out of our opponent's hand, but of course planeswalkers as well. Fry can also help out with that, especially things like Teferi, being able to have this not be countered and deal 5 damage to a creature or a planeswalker that's white or blue. Sometimes if we do get a little bit of awkward start or opponent has we have to fight through a ton of removal, especially games 2 and 3, we need ways to deal with things like Ugin and other powerful planeswalkers. So Spyglass it seems like a must as much now as ever to shut down planeswalkers, and of course can come in against any time you think you would need to shut down an activated ability. And then we can take out the Royal Scions for control matchups to just bring in Davriel and force our opponent to discard, in addition to our counter spells and Agonizing Remorses. And against the life gain decks, we want to be aggressive and just kill our opponent as quickly as possible. So them gaining life is pretty annoying, so we need a couple copies here of Tibalt. Core 21 brought a lot of new life gain interaction to the mix, and of course life gain was already pretty popular strategy. So definitely, if you're in red, you have to have Tibalt, I think, in your sideboard at least. I even got one deck where it's in the main deck. So yeah, that's pretty much the list. We'll jump into it and see how we do today. Okay, up against CF6, A3-2. Sure. Way to go first. Perfect. Sounds okay. I think we Fabled Passage for a swamp, then we shock Steam Vents for a Robber of the Rich. And then we just hold a Brazen Borrower, Unsummon. And if we draw a third land, of course, we can Subira and follow that up with a Royal Scions. So this could be decent depending on what we're up against. Swamp. Duress, that's pretty nasty. So against some kind of a discard tribal, that seems pretty fun, you know. And the good thing is we're the aggressive deck. You only have two options here, so just make your pick. There you go, Royal Scions. That's kind of the obvious choice. So we'll grab a swamp. So I have a little bit more insight what we're doing. Oh, Thief of is interesting. So get the free attack here and get a card from them. It's just another Duress. Okay, so we get to Duress them next turn. That's interesting. Unless they kill our robber here. So just mono black discard. Golgari. Scavenging Ooze. I feel like we want to get the Thief down. I mean, the Scavenging Ooze is going to grow. We could attack and see if they want to block and then bounce, but that doesn't seem very good. If we draw a land, we can Subira and Unsummon next turn. We'd rather just get the Thief down. We'll say no attacks. We'll see if they want to have a way to grow this next turn, or if they're just going to do another add to the board some more. So more discard effects. I guess we can discard the Unsummon. I mean, we do want to deal with this Ooze at some point. Okay, 2-color deck, and you're running double black removal spells and Grasp of Darkness. When you have access to Eliminate and Heartless Act, you're going to run Grasp in a 2-color deck. Seems a little ambitious. They have green mana open to pump their Ooze. They're going to exile my Thief. Yeah, go ahead, dude. You got it. 3/3 Scavenging Ooze. They're tapped out. Okay, there we go. Found a land. So we have mana open to Duress them. Oh, we got a Paradise Druid. Could Unsummon, but let's fight fire with fire. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. So a 3-color deck, and you're in main deck Duress, Leyline Prowler. I mean, I guess that gives you fixing and some Death Touch, lifelink stuff for what it's worth. And then you have all these Hunted Witness, Selfless Savior. I mean, sure. So we are missing the double blue for the Brazen Borrower. Okay, they're going to try to race, get in for 3. Okay, so we have Eliminate, we have Petty Theft. Alright, let's kill the Prowler. Let's Petty Theft the Witness. Just make sure we get in for 4 here. So we can't cast whatever we find. That's a Hunted Witness. Okay, so we have a Hunted Witness and a Paradise Druid. I think we're super interested. I guess the Hunted Witness can just kind of come down and chump block for us. We also have mana to make both these creatures unblockable. And they're stuck on a single white, so looks like they're just going to go for the Ooze activation on the Prowler. Get in for 4. They do not. So kind of curious what they might have here. Here's the second blue source. So we could unblockable. Or just make that robber unblockable. And then flash in the Brazen Borrower. Do we want to discard here? Yeah, we'll just swing. So we're definitely going to get in for 2 here. They could easily block Subira though. So just a land. So yeah, they take the easy block. I'm not sure what they were holding up, but they didn't activate the ooze to get in for an extra point of damage. But now we have our own Hunted Witness to block their ooze. So even though we're at 7, we don't really care too much. If they have a removal spell for Hunted Witness, we still get a token out of it. So I'm not really sure what our opponent's game plan here is. But some very curious deck construction. Okay, if you're going to do that anyways, why don't you do that on the Leyline Prowler? They could have a way to give the ooze trample, but with the way our opponent has shown us their cards, it's hard to know what kind of shenanigans they're up to. They're still swinging in. Okay, now we get a 1/1 token. Yes, the Tithe Taker. Okay, we'll just grab another blue source. Now we have the Brazen Borrower, Unsummon. Guess we bounce the Tithe Taker. I think we want to activate. We'll just attack. Let's attack 4 here. So we have a Paradise Druid and back for more. So if you can make sense of their deck, I can't. Okay, tapping Swamps for Paradise Druid. Perfect. So we need to get this Brazen Borrower in response to Tithe Takers, if that's what they go for. Make sure you pay attention to that. I missed that last time. Okay, Bell Collector. So now we'll flash this in. Sure, we got a 2/2 Belt Collector. We can actually make the Paradise Druid unblockable, or the token. So that's 2, 4, 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. So put them down to 1. Let's just swing with the Robber and the Brazen Borrower. I still have to respect their board. We'll see if we can draw here. Just another land. So we get them down to 4. Draw Heartless Act. There we go. It doesn't really do too much with all their creatures, and we're missing black to actually cast it. Oh, actually, no, that we have the Paradise Druid. It's can help us out there. So, well, we'll see how they play it. They have the Selfless Savior, which they can just sacrifice without even investing mana to make something unblockable. or excuse me, indestructible. But we can just make a bunch of our creatures unblockable, and they still don't have a way to deal with our Brazen Borrower. So unless they have a way to kill us here, pretty sure they are just dead. So we just make our creatures even just one creature unblockable and swing in the air. So we just have to not die here, basically. This is where the Robber of the Rich came in clutch, getting us the Hunter Witness Paradise Druid. I imagine our opponent just swings in here. Hopes we make a mistake on blocking. Yep. We were trying to figure out if there was some way, but okay, kind of a weird deck from our opponents. They had the back for more. Didn't see any other graveyard interaction. Didn't see any planeswalkers or anything we need to worry about for that. Life gain didn't seem to be relevant. The Fry can hit their Tithe Takers or their Selfless Savers or Hunter Witness, but that all seems pretty medium. I mean, we can exile so they don't get the Scavenging Ooze activations, but that seems pretty medium. Heartless Act felt pretty medium there since they had tons of ways to get counters. So maybe we take out that. For just a couple Agonizing Remorse. We could bring in Miscast to kind of throw off the removal. What do we see from them? We just saw Duress, and so you're running Grasp of Darkness in a 3-color deck. That just seems pretty interesting, to say the least. Not what I would do in a 3-color list. Run a bunch of mana-intensive removal spells, especially when you have access to Eliminate or Heartless Act or just better removal spells. But maybe they're just playing around and just kind of trying to build something on their own. Do we want Miscast? That seems pretty medium. I think I'd rather have the Unsummons. I think we match up okay against what they're trying to do, whatever it is. I think they're just some kind of a 3-color creature value list. I don't know. Okay, so we have the Knight into Robber, into Remorse or Thief or Soul Sear. So that seems pretty reasonable. We're going to be taking some damage here, but that's alright. They have Hunted Witnesses and things like that they can throw in front of our Knight. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but we'll get there. Second Thief. So basically just looking for a land at this point. Land of any type would do. Blood Crypt, Steam Vents, so we're pretty reasonably situated in that regard. Oh, no turn. Still nothing on turn 2, so that's awesome for us. We got a hit for 3. Probably just go for Remorse next turn. Another Black Source would probably be pretty ideal in this spot. Could also just jam Thief if we find an untapped land. Wouldn't mind looking at their hand just to kind of, okay, I'll take a land. We'll grab that swamp now. Wow, another Knight. Do we care about their hand? We could, yeah, let's Agonizing Remorse and then Knight, just so we kind of know what our opponent is doing. So they have the Sorin next turn, which is annoying. Seraph is pretty annoying as well. So we can kill the Sorin with a Soul Sear. So I think we'll just do that. Oh, your go. That's pretty nice of them. So they just Plaguecrafter, lose their Plaguecrafter. We sack a Knight. If they drop Sorin, we can Soul Sear. So it would go up to 6, so we'd hit it for 2, or probably just we'd hit it for 1, and then Soul Sear it to finish it off. If they just play Crafter here, then I think we just Thief. Oh, it's okay for you to think, but it's not okay for me to think. Yeah, gotta love these players. Gotta love people like this in the Magic community. Could just activate here as well. I don't think they have sweepers, so I think I'm fine with just swinging one and adding to the board. We'll probably hold up this Thief and just go for activations on our knights. Opponent says, oops. Okay, you don't have... oh, they do have a second white source, so they could pinch over Kaya's Wrath. I don't know what our opponent's problem is. We'll go for the activation, see if they have some removal. We'll grab the Ooze. Seems pretty cool. And we got the Unsummon. So the only thing that would save him is a sweeper here. But we have the Ooze and a second Thief. Okay, our opponent packs it in. We'll take it. Okay, Party for Eve. Gotta go first again, gotta love it. We're missing blue. We don't have anything to do until turn 3. We have the removal. We can cast 2 of these removal spells, and we have 2 spells that are not castable, so I think we just have to mulligan. This is a little bit better. I think since we're missing the second blue source here, I think we just have to bottom the Brazen Borrower, unfortunately. So then we'll just follow the same strategy here. Turn 1 Knight, turn 2 Robber. So we at least have an Eliminate, and if we find a third land, a Thief. So it's going to be a pretty fantastic curve. Could also drop a second Knight, but I think I'd rather just get this Robber going. Especially with our opponent on a full grip of cards. So we exile a land. So it looks like they're just on Simic. Or 3 colors, so maybe Mutate, maybe Ramp. Okay. Well, we could eliminate that. It does have a Defender. And swing 3. But I think I'd rather just get the Thief down. If they block, we'll go for the activation. So they want us to activate. Okay, we'll take that. Not ideal, but if that's how they want to play it, we'll take that. I think most of the time you don't block in this situation, and you just let your opponent decide. 3 mana open. That's curious. We'll just go for the activation and just not add to the board and just kind of kill them with what we got. Not to worry about removal in Simic colors. So it looks like there's some kind of a ramp deck. I guess this just here has a 3/3 Defender for 2 mana. So they're just holding up counter magic here. Is that their strategy? Get down a couple creatures to kind of block in the early turns, then ramp into a Ugin. Fabled Passage. I think with the sound, we'll just grab a black source swamp there. Just keep going for the activations. And I think we'll just go ahead and drop the second Knight. Oh, no counter magic. So I really don't know what our opponent's up to here. Why they have had no follow-ups to their 3/3. So we'll be looking to bring in Spyglass here. We know they're running Ugin 6. That pretty much guarantees they're running the new Ugin. Okay, Brontodon. Truffle Snout. That's a interesting deck. So do we? I know they're running Ugin 6, which is can be pretty nasty. But Truffle Snout. I mean, I guess this could be a playable card in certain builds. I mean, the Brontodon is always a good card. But the Pteranodon, it doesn't really match up with anything that we've seen from them so far. So the dinosaurs, and that's a boar, so there's not even any real tribal synergy. Yeah, I'm guessing just a cute Simic ramp with dinos and other kind of new creatures or something. I don't know. I can just go for a couple Agonizing Remorses. It's tempting to bring in Spyglass. If we knew they were running the Ugin 8, then yes, but they didn't even have ramp either, so. I mean, Agonizing Remorse can also kind of help out with that. We'll just do a split here, 3 Remorse and trim down to 3 Kitesail. And try it like that. Still need removal to push through those 3/3, 3/4 creatures. This is a interesting hand. I mean, the Knight is a pretty powerful 1-drop, and Subira is pretty cool. It can help us draw into some stuff, so I think that can kind of help us get where we need to go. So we'll shock in the Watery Grave on 1 to get the Knight going. And then we'll Fabled Passage on 2 to find a mountain, and we can kind of go from there. Depending on what our next draw is, of course. So with the budget mana base here, Thornwood Falls, Simic Guildgate. So one of those like maybe a newer player that they don't have the breeding pools or Temple of Mysteries by now. Especially if they're running a bunch of Core 21 cards. Okay, there's a... we'll just kind of slow them down, ping away at them for 1 because we can. As good as any target for Unsummon. So since we found the black source there, or the red source with the Blood Crypt, we can kind of hang on to this Fabled Passage. So we obviously have all the blue and black. Sentinel. Do we want to get our Subira online here? I think so. I think we still just jam that, hold back Knight, and just swing for 2. So they missed the land drop. That's pretty good for us. If nothing else, we have the removal next turn. Probably get these shocklands down first. So we're at 18, so we're not too worried about our life total. You just drop them there 3/3 again. They can swing 2 if they want. It's got Vigilance. Yep. No blocks. Agonizing Remorse. Alright, let's grab a second red source. Lava Coil and Remorse. Take out the 3/3. We'll swing 2. And Remorse. So let's see what our opponent's up to here. Return to Nature. Do we have any artifacts? That's 6 mana. The Oaken Form is pretty nasty. If we find a removal spell, we can deal with it. They're missing land, so they might not be able to cast this Sabertooth Mauler. But I think I'd rather just keep them off creatures. If they just want Oaken Form, then so be it. We can still swing in with our Knight of Ebon Legion. But yeah, they can go up to 5 and put us down to 10. Which isn't a great spot, but Subira can give us some card advantage. potentially. We do need some removal here. Well, we'll just attack with a knight, see if they want to block. We'll activate 100%. Are you sure you want to do that? I'll take that. Like they're in a pretty strong spot to keep their creature, and now they have an empty board. We definitely don't want to discard these thieves. We can shock and play both of them, so yeah, we'll just do that. So taking away their 4-drop creature turned out to be the correct play. Some pretty questionable decision making with these blocks. But you know, we're just gonna play our game and work with what we got. So they have plenty of enchantment removal. We'll just ping that away. And do we swing 6 here, or do we draw? Let's draw. Let's draw. So we're gonna get a couple cards with Subira, and then the Thieves will also get some cards. So that's some pretty massive card advantage. Oh man, I guess we'll take a negate. And a mass manipulation. Robber swap. And we have a negate mana open. Perfect. So their deck is just kind of all over the place. Yeah, you don't have any return to nature targets. We're not really doing anything with artifacts or enchantments. No Ember Cleaves here. We're just straight 2 and 3 drops, basically. You can Oaken Form one of my creatures if you want. Okay, you're just now reading everything. 4 mana open. I'm not sure what they could have here, that they're looking at our creatures so intently. Perhaps they just realize the game is not going in their favor. So still want to leave open the negate. So let's pick something out of their hand. You don't have a counter spell for the robber, but now all of a sudden you have a spell you want to cast in response to a freebooter. You control enchanted creature. Yeah, I think we'll take that. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Put them down to 3. Seems pretty good. Whatever we get here, we just hold up and negate, and we should be good. Draw some cards thanks to Thief. Sure. Giant Growth, that'll seal the deal. Man, this card advantage has been insane. Look at that, we have 5 cards thanks to the Robber and Thieves. There we go. I found a creature. They can Oaken Form it. But we'll say no. That's your negate, buddy. You put that in your deck. I mean, they're just dead no matter how you look at it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and seal the deal here. Our flyer, the Giant Growth. And we got an Ugin. We got 2 Ugins, 1 in each matchup. Or 1 in each game, I should say, of this matchup. Alright, so yeah, when things go your way, you get pretty amazing games like that. But, you know, we're in Grixis, so you have very fantastic removal spells, so you can definitely have tools to give yourself a chance at pretty much any matchup. Typical to Grixis, or really any 3-color, especially aggro deck. The mana base is the biggest concern, and like I said, that's why we're running the full 24 lands, even though looking at the curve, you would think 22, 23 lands would be maybe more what you're looking for, but because we're 3 colors and some of those intense mana costs, we are running all 24. And you saw how it played out there with the robber getting the cards off our opponent's library, and same thing with the Thief of Sanities. So having that additional mana is really not a problem, and you know, if it does become a problem, obviously you have the Royal Scions that can discard you those lands, and the Subira, where you can just kind of discard. If you're just flooding out like crazy, you can discard those additional lands and redraw some new cards. So yeah, lots of nice fun angles. Subira seems like a pretty sweet new card to brew around with. And just thought, like, you know, giving the Thief of Sanity or the Robber of the Rich unblockable seemed like the funnest way to go, so that's where we went. Obviously, like a mono red shell, or even I was thinking there's probably some things you can do in Historic, especially things like a Tetsuko, some shenanigans like that. So maybe later on down the line we'll kind of explore some of those ideas. But yeah, the Grixis list seems pretty fun, and yeah, if you guys have any other ideas, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next time, make sure you jank with a purpose.